Well, this video is almost a year old, so it's pretty old. But obviously I saw it when it came out, but I didn't have a YouTube channel when it came out. Otherwise, I probably would have made a video on it when it happened. But I just thought I'd point out a few things that Mr. Michael Knowles is missing here. So basically, what happened? That lady Esty, whatever. That trad wife blonde chick that got really popular and blew up all over like TikTok and Instagram for, being a trad wife. Yeah, Mr. Michael Knowles had her on his show and he interviewed her, and yeah, let's get into it.
You can be a trad wife, like my guest, Esty Williams, a 25-year-old woman who has gone viral. I'm sure you've seen her TikToks and Insta stories and MySpace posts and Zanga journals and AOL Instant Messenger emojis and anything else. She's been the subject of very nasty articles by the libs in the media. Esty, thank you for coming on the show.
Hi, Michael, and thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. First off, when I first saw your name, I was tempted to pronounce it Estee, as in louder, but it is Esty.
Yes, no accent, so it's the American version.
Very, very American, very traditional. For those who don't know, Esty, what is a trad wife?
Well, a trad wife is just short for traditional wife, and it is a homemaker, and she cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the home and the children, if there are any, and the online world gave it the term trad wife for short.
Yeah, well, what she's saying might be the modern day definition of what a quote unquote trad wife is. And while she does list those, like, yes, a traditional wife does have those qualities, I don't think that goes far enough. I think that's just beginning to, scrape the top of the barrel just of what a trad wife is. Because if you really want to boil down what a traditional wife is into, as much of that idea down into like a single phrase or a single sentence as you can, then I would go with what Pearl Davis says a trad wife is. And a traditional wife is a woman who values her family above all else. A woman that puts her family in front of her own personal needs and wants. She serves the family first, and then she can come after that. And not only the family, also she serves her husband as well. But that, begins to start making it into a multi-sentence explanation. And, the purpose of that was to have a single sentence explanation, which we achieved. So no reason to elaborate more on that. But the part I do want to elaborate a little bit more on is this woman is supposed to be a quote unquote traditional wife, but she got a face full of makeup, dude. Now I'm not saying traditional wives can't wear makeup, but what I am saying is that is a lot of makeup on her face for a quote unquote traditional woman. Because in my opinion, traditional women either wear no makeup or they wear minimal makeup, okay? They don't, pound that cake on their face like she does, that is obviously not the way that she naturally looks. I mean, and not only that, one other thing that I'd like to point out too, which is more evidence that this woman is absolutely not at all traditional. Like, she may be traditional in some ways, but not really a traditional woman at heart, is the way that she does the makeup. Everyone can see on her face that she blushed her cheeks. Well, why do women blush their cheeks when they do their makeup? Well, there's actually a very scientific and biological explanation for this. So, when women have sex, their cheeks get blushed. That is a natural biological reaction for the female body when it is sexually aroused, okay? So when women take colored paint and they paint their cheeks to look like they are blushed, like they just had sex, in my opinion, that is that's using makeup in a sexual way, whether you realize it or not, because the reason that the women paint their cheeks red is because, to men, they appear more sexually attractive because, whether you want to see it or not as a man, when you see a woman with blushed cheeks, biologically in your brain, it's hardwired to go, oh, that's a sexually available woman. You cannot, it's just biological hardwiring. You cannot stop those thoughts from happening. It's subconscious. It's so deep. It's subconscious. You're not even consciously aware of these thoughts unless you're, looking for them. She's a traditional wife, but she wears a face full of makeup. And not only that, she also does her makeup in a sexual way as well. And you're going to sit here, Mr. Knowles, and tell me that that is a traditional woman. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That is what I call a LARPer or a poser or a liar, okay? Traditional women do not go flaunting their sexuality to people other than their husband. Traditional women get their attention and validation from their husband and their family, not from other people. And that's also the problem that I have with her, but we'll get into that in a little bit when Mr. Knowles gets into it.
What motivated you to pursue this traditional life? Were you raised on the farm somewhere? I mean, were you raised in this way? Or was it a conscious choice to become this thing?
Well, I was somewhat raised traditional. My mom was a traditional wife until my parents got divorced. And then, of course, that threw our family for a spin. And I think I felt the need to fit the mold of the world and go get a degree, find a career. And I did go to college for almost 2 years. And then I dropped out because secretly I always wanted this lifestyle. Of course, you need a husband to have this lifestyle. So when I met my now husband, everything just came into place. And that's really the inspiration behind it. It was a dream.
Well, there we go. She openly admits that she was absolutely not at all traditional until she met her husband. Now, granted, at least she did get married before the age of 25. That is very traditional. I'll give her that much, you know. And not only that, she dropped out of college to marry her husband. And, you know, you got to give her credit where credit's due. That is very traditional of her. You know, not many women I know would do that for their husband or their boyfriend or, you know, their significant other. So you got to give her credit where credit's due. She's trying to be traditional. She is making an effort, and, you know, she has made some progress towards her goal of being a traditional woman, you know, like good for her for, you know, actually, you know, like following her dreams and goals and deciding that, hey, like, I don't want to be this boss babe, you know, I don't want to be working a job for the rest of my life. I want to be a traditional woman, so that's what I'm going to focus on. And good for her for sticking to her guns. I'd just like to point out, everybody saw the wedding picture that she posted, or that they had in the video there, right? Like, you can see the whole top half of her breasts. There's nothing traditional about that at all. I'm sorry, but like, if you want to call yourself a traditional woman and you expect me to believe you, then you need to be covered up. I should not see the skin on your breasts at all. I should never see that skin. You should be embarrassed if anyone saw that skin other than your husband. Okay, that is what a traditional woman would feel like in that wedding dress. Okay, she should feel embarrassed that she is so nude. But, you know, obviously we all already know that this is not a traditional woman that we're dealing with, which is why that was the wedding dress she picked out. Now, granted, she might have become a lot more traditional by now, but I beg to differ because the video that we're watching has more evidence later. Here, actually, I'll just show it up on screen right now, and you can see that these clips of videos here are obviously clips from her social media, where she went on her social media and posted her, you know, doing a little like runway walkthrough of her trad wife dresses, or whatever it is she calls them. And I will give her credit where credit is due. Those are very traditional style, you know, female clothing and dresses. And not many women these days wear dresses like that. And it is refreshing to see a woman embrace her femininity like that. But you know what's not feminine? You know what's not traditional? Doing that and then posting it on the internet. Because, like I was saying earlier about in her wedding dress, the top half of her breasts were completely exposed. Well, supposedly after she's had this quote-unquote trad wife transformation, and she's now this quote-unquote trad wife, guess what? She's still over here showing the top half of her breasts to the entire freaking world. She's out here posting it on the internet. Not only that, these are form-fitting dresses. So there isn't really much left to the imagination. You can see the exact outline of her body through those dresses. And not only that, she's doing like a little like runway walkthrough, you know, showing off the dresses on her, which in my opinion, that'd be fine and all if that was just for your husband or just for your family, you know, that'd be okay. But the fact that she's posting this kind of stuff on the internet, this is evidence of attention-seeking and validation type of behaviors. Okay? Women do not post this stuff on the internet unless they are seeking attention or validation from people outside of their relationship or marriage, aka people not in their family or not their husband. And that is not traditional in any sense whatsoever. Like I said earlier, traditional women only get their validation and attention from their husband and their family. So this is very untraditional of her to be posting this type of stuff on the internet after her supposed trad wife transformation. What I found even more ironic about that clip that I showed was the audio that goes with the clip as they're showing those clips. So just here, I'll go ahead and just play that clip real quick with the unedited audio so that you can hear what they're saying as they're playing these clips, because it is just kind of hilarious and ironic how they didn't really realize that the words that they're saying are contradicting the images that they're showing. But check it out for yourself.
To embrace this natural role as a woman and be a mother, be a wife, and that is enough. You don't need a career to feel fulfilled as a woman.
How has your family reacted to it?
She wants to embrace this natural role as a woman, as a wife. Well, in my opinion, the natural role of a woman/wife is to not be posting pictures or videos of herself all over the internet for all of the world to see, thus getting attention and validation from all sorts of men on the internet. That is not the natural role of a woman or a wife, in my opinion. So there's nothing natural about this at all whatsoever. And this is not traditional at all whatsoever, because a traditional wife would not be posting this kind of stuff on the internet. Well, yes, her posts are much more mild and much less spicy than most of the women out here, and could be considered traditional compared to some of the other stuff that people post on the internet. I wouldn't consider it traditional just because it looks traditional compared to porn. Okay? Like that's like saying a girl who slept with only 10 guys is a virgin compared to the girl who slept with 1,000 guys. Well, yeah, the comparison between the two is like negligible, and the one who's only slept with 10 seems like a virgin in comparison to the one that slept with 1,000. She's still not a virgin.
Now, is there a kind of a contradiction with being a trad wife who is very publicly a trad wife on social media? Meaning you are probably the most identifiable figure of this whole movement. But it's a movement that says women should basically be homemakers and running private life. So does it undermine the trad life to be a public Insta-celebrity trad wife?
That's interesting. I get those comments all the time, like, how are you a trad wife? You're online. And it's like, well, I guess 1950s trad wives weren't trad wives if they're using dishwashers and washing machines. If women in the 1800s weren't using those, I think as time goes on, like, life is changing and we live in an online world. And I've been using that to my advantage to really try and inspire younger women who maybe deep down have this desire to be a trad wife, but they're being told, no, you need a career, you need to support yourself, and you don't need to depend on a man. But that's simply not true.
I don't know if the analogy to the washing machine is totally apt, because the washing machine it's a technology that allows you to live this private life, and run the household more efficiently. Whereas the public facing stuff on Instagram doesn't do that. I think the better analogy might be maybe Phyllis Schlafly, who I think is one of the greatest women of the 20th century. And Phyllis Schlafly was in many ways a trad wife and also one of the most important political leaders in American history. And she was a wife and a mother, and she had 6 kids. And also she single-handedly shot down the Equal Rights Amendment and is truly one of my favorite conservative movement figures. That you are living this life, yes, but the way that we all interact with you is you are telling women in a really public-facing way, hey, it's okay. Your desires that you have to not go work at a widget factory for Mr. McGillicuddy who doesn't care about you, your desire to have a family that loves you and work for them, it's normal. It's okay. You can do that. And I guess the irony of that is you've got to be a public girl boss kind of to do that, to tell people, either to shut down the ERA or even to tell people on Instagram to live a normal life.
That's a good point.
Yeah, in my opinion, her argument is a complete mischaracterization of the exact issue that people try to bring up when they mention, hey, like you say you're a trad wife, but you're over here, just posting yourself all over the internet, which is not traditional in any way. And her excuse is, well, technology's evolved and I'm evolving with technology. That's not really the issue that people are bringing up. We're not upset that she's on social media. We're not saying, oh, trad wives can't be on social media. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that trad wives aren't posting this type of content on social media. They're not over here showing off their body. They're not showing off how they look in different dresses. They're not over here with a face full of makeup. They're not using makeup in such a way to make themselves seem more sexually appealable to men, okay? Like none of those things are traditional in any sense whatsoever. And in fact, those are very modern woman type attributes, because nobody's saying, oh, like trad wives can't be on the internet, because yeah, you can be a trad wife and be on the internet, but have you noticed how this woman films all of her content? Almost all of her content, about 95 to 99% of the content that she films is videos of her from the chest up. You notice that? Every single angle she's got the camera at, she's always perfectly center in the middle of the shot. It's almost like she's trying to show off herself, because I think that's exactly what she's doing. And not only that, like, because she's always makes sure to include her chest area in as many of the shots as is humanly possible. And while you could argue that might just be completely unintentional and just, a byproduct of, setting up a camera in front of your face and filming what you're doing. But then we have to ask the question, well, why are you setting up the camera like that? Like if what you're promoting is this lifestyle, then why aren't you just filming the lifestyle? Why are you filming yourself doing the lifestyle? Like, why does your entire face and upper body need to be included with almost every single video? That doesn't make any sense, because there's a lifestyle that you're supposed to be promoting, not yourself, not your looks, not your body. You notice in almost every single video, she's dead center in the middle of the shot. It's almost like the camera's intentionally focused on her, because she is the center of attention. And that's what I mean by she's not very traditional at all, really, because a real traditional woman would not be concerned with, making sure she's constantly and always in the shot, because a traditional woman who is trying to, make videos about the lifestyle would be more concerned with filming the lifestyle, be more concerned with just filming what she's doing rather than filming her doing the thing. There's plenty of angles you can set up a camera that can still capture what you're doing without showing your entire body or half of your body or even most of your body. But that's my biggest complaint with her, is that, well, okay, she's this supposed trad wife, yet in like 95 to 99% of her videos, you can see at least the upper half of her body, from her waist up. Like, why? That's not necessary. You don't need to be showing that. That's not traditional at all. Well, yes, she does exhibit some traditional behaviors, She is not what I would consider a quote unquote traditional wife in any sense whatsoever. Because if you want me to believe you that you're traditional, first of all, cover your tits, all right? Second of all, stop wearing form-fitting dresses. Third of all, stop wearing makeup. Fourth of all, when you do wear makeup, stop using it in a sexual manner. Stop posting pictures of yourself on the internet. It's okay if you're in the picture, but don't make yourself the center of attention in the picture. And fifth, or sixth, I forget where we're at now, have some shame and humility. You should be embarrassed and ashamed if other people see things that should only be for your husband, i.e., your breasts, or i.e., the shape of your body, okay? These are all things that no one else needs to see except your husband. So the fact that you're posting it all over the internet just proves how untraditional you actually are. And I do at least enjoy the fact that Mr. Knowles acknowledges that, yeah, she kind of is a boss babe. Because in my opinion, there completely and totally is a way to, advocate for this traditional type lifestyle and film what you do as a trad wife, but still doing it in a traditional type way without doing this modern woman thing of like, I'm the center of attention here, all eyes on me, cameras focused on me, I'm the center of this picture, I'm the center of the shot, watch me spin and show off these dresses to you guys. Like that is just modern woman feminist archetype 101 basically. But yeah, guys, that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know down in the comments what you think about this chick, SD Williams? Is she really a trad wife, or is she a poser who pretends to be trad and is actually, quite a modern woman herself? I don't know. Let me know what you think. While you're down there, leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to follow me on the Big Mean Green YouTube as well.